It was the best of times and the worst of times, or something like that. We're actually big proponents of shooting log or flat with FiLMiC Pro, but you gotta be careful. And this is a perfect example of that I wanted to show you. So the first thing, just to show the dynamic range, the idea that using log, why it's a benefit. If you were shooting with the native camera, your shot would look probably more like this. So you can see the sky back there is blown out, but the people in here are more properly exposed. This is one of the advantages to shooting log. But then in this particular case, it's full of noise. This is a hard scenario to shoot in regardless. You under shade and you have bright outside. So it's like shooting in a doorway in a house. When you're inside, the lighting is much different than it is outside. In any filmmaking with any camera, this is one of the more tricky kind of shots. Right here, I'm actually shooting with a ND32 on, the Iris mobile ND filter system. I inadvertently must have shot with too high of ISO. I was trying to keep everything at 1/48 shutter. I didn't check the ISO on every shot. I had the shutter locked. The ND that I'm using was taking 6 stops off, and so the darker footage was underexposed. I exposed for the exterior. But the highlights look great. That's the best part of FiLMiC Pro Log. You get a little more dynamic range and you get better filmic roll-off. You don't have the harsh highlights, the clipping, as long as you shoot at the right exposure. And actually exposing to the right or overexposing just a little bit is probably better than underexposing, and that's the same with other cameras. This footage I shot right after the previous bad clip, and it looks good. When you color grade footage, bringing the shadows down will help hide noise, but it doesn't get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is using a denoiser. But the bad shot that I'm showing in this test, I would never actually use. I'm just using it for these purposes. It's just too noisy. This clip demonstrates the best of FiLMiC Pro Log and the worst. The best being the highlight roll-off, but the worst being in the same exact clip, the noise that can happen when you underexpose something. So always pay attention to your exposure. Try to keep your ISO under 100. And if log gives you trouble in these scenarios, switch over and shoot flat. Often flat will give you a similar result without the noise. One of the rules that we started doing was we shoot log outside and flat inside. This is a hybrid, but flat probably would have been the right choice in this scenario. Hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.